This is Recover with Cal, and I'm here to share my journey with you.
This podcast is intended to not only help Callam in his recovery, but also to give hope and support to others who are going through difficult situations in their lives.
Welcome to Recover with Cal. I'm your host, Laura Olver.
Yeah,
and this is my good friend, Gary Nickel.
Huge fan of this guy. Incredible stuff. We're back.
Yeah, we're back. This is episode number two. In our first episode, it was a look at the actual accident. And this was a tough one for me because in my mind, I don't have memory of it. And my mind wanted to always like cycle through what happened. And I didn't really know. So it's like, I was trying to put together ideas perhaps of what happened or the what ifs.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Gary, it wasn't a healthy thing for me to cycle through this. And it's taken me a long time, and it'll probably take me a little bit longer to like not have to think about it like that in my mind. Like I think eventually my mind will just like release it. And hopefully that first episode and my conversation with one of my riding partners, Bush, will help me in my recovery to get past that and get along, with my life.
And that's one of the big reasons why we're doing this, right? Is for you to work through these things as you continue to recover, and you can figure out and sort of fill in the missing pieces.
That's right. Recovery isn't just physical recovery. It's very holistic.
There's so much going on.
And, there's the emotional aspect to it. There's the intellectual aspect to it. Maybe it's your spiritual aspect to it as well, and your physical aspect to it. And like, I have to come to terms with, the mental aspect of recovery. So I think that, that conversation is awesome for me, to recover in that way. I was ready for it.
Yeah. Like you said, it was hard, man.
Yeah, it's hard. Every conversation I have going back brings me a step further in my recovery.
Yeah, and we talked about, like you said, with the boys and the ATV evacuation and all of that, and we've got that covered. So now, where are we going on your journey, buddy?
So again, this is a tough one for me because
I think they're all going to be really tough, aren't they?
Yeah. But in particularly, I'm again at another barrier because I don't have memory of what happens next.
Yeah.
So what I needed to do is I needed to have a conversation with my wife, Laura, to help me to understand and to, again, take on this barrier of the unknown, of what happened next in terms of an emergency ambulance ride and an emergency surgery. So we're going to go ahead and listen to the conversation that I have with her.
And just some context for everyone. Just like it's really hard for Cal, it was very hard for Laura to do this. And I think it's a great sort of example of how it's not just you going through this journey, right? Like you got your whole family, you got your friends, and everyone just coming together, man. That's why I love this idea for you so much, doing Recovery with Cal, because it's not just shining the light on you and the incredible hurdles you've been able to overcome already, but the support system that allowed you to overcome those things. And
absolutely.
That's where we get deep into, and that's what sort of this is. So this is going to be like, this is where before the emotions were going, and now it's a whole different set of emotions still tied to the same thing.
Yeah, and maybe this conversation, we talk about that holistic recovery in the beginning of the episode. This is like the emotional.
Yes.
This is an emotional conversation that I have with Laura.
All right, should we play it?
Let's play it.
Okay.
Laura, I was also thinking about this the other day. This coming up May is going to be 18 years that you and I have been married. And like
18.
that, yeah, 18. It kind of hit me like we've had, a lot of adventures together. And, I look forward to the ones that we're going to have moving forward for sure. But thinking about that was, 18 years ago when we got married, I thought about our wedding vows, and something kind of really struck home with me is, when it says, in good times and bad, in sickness and in health. I thought, wow, you know what? Like, we went through that sickness and in health, right, with my accident. And I suppose the recovery moving forward. And I thought to myself, I couldn't have, married a better spouse than you.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
it's true that
right.
that you were there for me on the day of my accident, and the last 5 months now, um, as I continue to recover. So I
Well,
just
of
want to,
course.
I just
Of
want to
course.
let you know that.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I did, say in sickness and in health. And I guess you never really think about what that means until you go through it, but yeah, it's definitely what we're experiencing right now.
Yeah. Well, I love you.
Oh, I love you.
Thanks for um, joining me for this conversation.
No
Um,
problem.
I think I'm finally feeling better about kind of revisiting the events. And I had a great conversation with Bush about the accident. And part of it is that I have no memory of it, or just like a really lucid memory. I would love it if you could fill me in with some of those details that maybe you were there, you experienced it, and just like share that with me.
Okay, are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. I have one memory that's that I'll bring up in about seeing you in the ambulance, and the rest are just kind of like really. It might be a memory. It might just be things that were communicated to me after, but I don't know. But I do remember seeing you in the hospital. Must have been a hospital or an ambulance, and also Dwayne, a good friend and colleague, was there as well. And
Right.
I just remember saying, I don't know exactly what I said, but hopefully I told you that I loved you then. Um, and,
Oh,
and
you did.
and then
That
that's
was
all, and
that
that's
was
all I
what
remember.
that was what you kept telling me. You kept saying, "Laura, I love you. I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm so sorry." And the reason why Dwayne was there was because you said, "Call Dwayne. Tell him I don't think I'll be in work on Monday." So you know where your priorities are. This is a great employee here. Wants me to call the principal. But
Yeah, yeah.
it was nice. It was really good to have Dwayne there for the support because I just floated back and forth, not really knowing what was happening.
Hmm.
Because you also kept saying, "I'm scared. I can't feel my legs. I'm
Oh.
scared." And then, of course, that scared me. I feel cold right now thinking about it.
Mm.
Because at that time, like we don't know what's going on with you. You're gushing with blood everywhere and just, kept repeating that you were scared and that you couldn't feel your legs. And then once they started giving you medication, you would fall asleep and then you would wake up and the whole time I called my mom because I couldn't handle it by myself. And so then I was just walking back and forth. Like the people there must have thought that I was crazy. I was just back and forth, back and forth.
So where were we?
We were at the hospital in Prince Albert. So when I got called, one of your pal's Bush called me. He told me there was an accident and that I should meet the ambulance at the hospital. So I went right there, and at first I was like, oh, this guy's got a broken leg, or oh, he's got a broken
Yeah.
arm, or whatever. I didn't really know what to expect. And the girls and your mom and I were just taking a break from packing. And then I just got my coat on and my purse, and I went and I waited outside the ambulance doors. Probably for a good hour, I was waiting there because I didn't realize how long that it was gonna take to get you
Yeah.
from where you were.
When I was talking to Bush, he said he kind of calculated that it was like 3 hours from when I had my accident to when I was actually out of the trail system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and who knows? For me, it could have been longer. But I just stood out there and waited, and then you came in.
So did I have any work done in Prince Albert or before I went to Saskatoon?
Yeah, they had to cut all your clothes off of you, and they had to stitch up your face.
Right.
And then you went for a couple of X-rays, and then when the X-rays came back, they decided that you had to get transferred. They didn't give me very much information when I was there. They were all like, they knew your neck was broken because they put you in the collar.
Right.
And then you had a lot of pain in your lung because you had your lung punctured. And then I think they said that you had bleeding on your brain, so they had to so then they secured you with a neck brace and wrapped your head up with gauze and whatever. And oh, and you were you were so cold. You were also saying, I'm cold, I'm cold. And you were like in shock and having convulsions.
Oh, geez.
So they kept putting warmed blankets on you. Uh,
That's something I really liked at the hospital, especially after having a shower. The the
the
nurses
warm
would give me a
blankets.
warm blanket. I
Oh,
never refused a warm blanket.
well, maybe we'll have to get you a towel warmer.
Oh, that would be perfect. Oh, so eventually they sent me to Saskatoon.
Yeah,
How did that work out? Were you able to travel with me?
yeah, my mom packed me a bag. Actually, Tegan packed a bag, and my mom brought it because they had told me at as soon as you came in that you would probably be having to go to Saskatoon. Actually, I don't know how that bag arrived. I just maybe I knew earlier that you were going to go to Saskatoon.
Mhm.
No, they put you in an ambulance, and then I went in the ambulance. Yeah, I don't really remember very much from the ride because, yeah, as we were leaving the hospital, all everyone was pretty, all the doctors and the nurses were all pretty stoic, I
Right.
suppose. Just like, let's get this guy out of here. He needs to get going fast.
Yeah. I don't know the full extension of it, but like, was it an emergency in terms of time to get me to Saskatoon for surgery, do you think?
Yes, I it was.
Yeah.
They when I was waiting or when I came in, they said that they were couldn't get the Stars ambulance in. Had you been not in a forest, the Stars would have picked you right up from there. But
And that's the helicopter ambulance,
yeah, yeah, but
right?
because you were in that forest, they couldn't get the helicopter. There was nowhere for them to land, and there was
Right.
already an ambulance from Prince Albert that was being dispatched that was going to get there faster, because the SARS ambulance had to come from Saskatoon.
Right.
So it would have been quicker.
So I was taken to Saskatoon to have surgery. What do you recall from that time? Like when?
Uh, when you came in, and then they were able to give you more X-rays, they had told me that you were probably going to be paralyzed. I decided that I didn't want to tell you yet
Yeah.
because I didn't know how much you were remembering, or I didn't want you to, because it was something you were already worried about. So I just kept telling you that you were going to be okay while they were preparing you for the surgery. And then when you went in, I had to sign papers because there was a chance that you weren't going to come back out of it alive, and there was also a chance that you were going to come back out with brain damage.
When I woke up, I had a strange like feeling when I realized I was paralyzed, and it was strange because I grieved about it, but I wasn't surprised for some reason. It wasn't a shock to me, and I think it was probably because I kind of came to terms with it before. But the other thing that even to this day that I tell people, they talk to me about my situation, is that I tell them that I'm grateful and I thank God for what I have, and that's I have my two arms, I got my heart, and I have my mind,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
I would have.
you very well could have came out without any of that.
Yeah, and plus I'm alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the other big thing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when you have those days when you feel like this sucks, it could have been much worse.
Yeah.
Or you could have been living in a home right now, not knowing that you were even in the home.
Yeah. No, you're right. How did you cope with this event? Like I know it would have been crazy hard for you, for anyone.
Oh, you know what? I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how I've gone about the last 5 months. Like, obviously, I've had so many people that have taken care of me. Like, my parents have taken care of me. They've taken care of our kids. Your parents
Yeah.
have taken care of me and the kids.
Yeah, and me.
And
Right.
you, I don't even know how I've been coping with it.
Yeah.
I really don't, I really don't think I had any responsibility that anyone expected me to be able to do, because everyone just took over and made sure that the help was given where it needed to be.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like I remember just kind of floating around,
Yeah.
not really doing anything, or but doing everything though, you know. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy that you were there on that day for me and all the days after in the hospital.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
it gives me the will to live.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm still sorry that it happened.
Yeah, me too. But maybe that was the plan that was meant for you all along.
I don't know.
Like, I mean, how many accidents on your bike had you had?
Yeah.
You know, like you said, every time
Well,
you
I,
would get back up again, but this was the time you just didn't get back up again.
yeah.
But you're back up again. I
Yeah.
saw you cruising down the hill in your wheelchair.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be back on the trails before I know it. But
Yes.
when you kind of bring up a good point there, and I haven't told this to anyone, but
One thing I remember is our daughters would always tell me right before I'd go, mountain biking on the trails,
Mhm.
they'd always tell me to be safe.
Yeah.
Probably because I, come back with scratches or come back with,
Mhm.
a story or whatever. And yeah, I think I'm just sorry I didn't, I wasn't safe that day.
But you weren't being crazy.
No, no, I wasn't. But
Right.
I think about our daughters too. How did how did they how did they cope through that situation or that day, through the accident and through the surgery?
They didn't know the whole story. They just knew that you had gone to Saskatoon because you had some broken ribs that were making it hard for you to breathe because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
And I didn't want to have to tell them over the phone.
Yeah.
So I waited until the following evening
Yeah.
to come and tell them. And yeah, my parents came over and your mom was there with them. And we all just sat down and I told them, and there were tears, a lot of tears. And then we came to Saskatoon the very next day.
Yeah.
And then that first week was probably the hardest week for everybody.
That was that next week is the hardest week from what I remember too.
Yeah, because you said you started remembering.
Yeah.
I part of me wishes that I hadn't left you at the hospital, but before I left, I had talked to you and I made sure that, well, I thought I made sure that you knew that I was going back to the house to talk to the girls and bring the girls back.
So that was after I came out of surgery.
Yeah, the next day I told you I needed to tell the girls and bring the girls, and so I had to leave.
Well, I think you did the right thing.
Yeah, but I just felt like you thought that I left, but I was only leaving to go and get the kids, tell the kids.
Well, thank
And
you, love.
I don't know
I
why you would ever have thought that I was leaving you because of that.
Oh, I know that you spent so much time with me, and I'm really grateful that you were able to take off 2 months
Two
of work
months of work.
to to be with me and to be with the family. That was really
Yeah.
special. That really helped me out.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't have been able to work. And then everything with the move, I wouldn't have been able to
Yeah,
do that and work.
yeah. You amazed me how you were able to move our house and all of our belongings, and then to do it all over again to move into a new house with all of our belongings.
It
So,
was the it was the kind people of Prince Albert and Saskatoon that did it all.
well,
I I
it,
don't I don't really think I did anything.
well, yeah, maybe that's an amazing story to tell.
Oh goodness.
So, thinking back to the situation that you were in with my hospital, like the emergency ambulance ride and surgery. Is there any advice that you'd give others that might go through a situation like this or might be going through a situation?
Oh, some advice, hey? I don't even know. I guess the one thing that popped into my head was don't try to do it alone because that's not gonna help.
Yeah,
If you can not do it alone, if you can have people around you that, even though, you know, for me, I'm kind of an introvert, but at that time I just needed to have all the people. It was just so good to have everyone there with support. I guess that's not really advice because a person can't really choose the
I think that's
support
advice.
they get, but don't try to do it alone
Yeah.
and let people help. Anybody who wanted to help in any way, I just took all the help. Yeah, and that's what made it all bearable. But that's probably, I don't know, I guess.
I think that's great advice. I love, even though I don't remember a lot of this, I do remember you and being there and that vivid memory of looking up and seeing you. So thanks. Thanks for being there so I didn't have to do it alone.
Aw, I would have been nowhere else but by your side.
Once again, I love you and I look forward to the next adventures that we'll go on.
Yeah, I'm already planning them.
Nice.
Oh yeah, but this time we get to go to the front of the line. Well, you've got to think about the perks now, right?
That's
What are the
true.
perks? You got
That's
to
true.
cash in on those perks.
Yeah, for
Good
sure.
parking spaces.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know I can always count on you to help give me a hand and help me out. And the
Yes,
girls as well.
yes.
Because,
They
like you
and we
said, you don't have to do this alone.
No, you don't. You can ask for the help that you need when you need it or want it, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Thank you, love.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Love
Bye
you.
bye.
So there you go. Again, Callam's wife, Laura, on the phone with him, going over just incredible, unbelievable stuff. And many, many, many people around the world go through exactly what you go through. But no one ever talks about it. No one ever shines a light on the process and the journey. And another great example, like these phone calls you've been having are just, it's unbelievable. And I'm so proud of you guys for being able to just break down the barriers and be real. Right?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
tears were shed
Yeah.
during that conversation. And of course, they'll continue to be shed as as I grieve and as Laura grieves too. But we're both looking forward to the adventures that we're going to have ahead of ourselves. And you bring up a really good point, Gary, that this podcast isn't solely for my recovery. The hope is that we are able to, maybe inspire, give hope to other people that are going through difficult situations, be it, a medical accident like myself or whatever is, like
Holding you back.
or a traumatic event.
Yeah.
That it's important to know that you're not alone out there, and hopefully
Beautiful.
we can help with that.
Yeah.
This can kind of give others, ideas how they can progress in their recovery.
It's beautiful, man. As you help yourself, you're helping others. And I say it all the time. That's what this whole network is all about, is doing good things. And then they'll start happening to you. And like through this horrible, horrible accident, so much good has come from it already.
I
And it's
agree.
because of you. And it's so sweet to me. So when we look into the surgery, what did
Yeah.
they find when they finally operated on you and got in there? What was the deal?
Yeah, so I've had conversations with Laura about this as well, and my surgeon that did my surgery. So what ended up happening was in the surgery, I had to have my surgery face down, and so that my back was exposed the entire time. And I guess there's some complications with not really knowing if I was gonna, if be asphyxiated with my throat, because when I had crashed, I had fractured part of my face, and then my windpipe had been crushed, and so there's a little bit of a risk there for sure. And Laura talks about some of the risks that she had to sign for, and not knowing if I was going to come out of the surgery alive or the same person or not, the unknowns. But
Yeah.
so there was a concern there. The surgery lasted 5 hours.
Jeez.
My surgeon after went to speak to Laura personally and let her know that it worked out as best as it could. So that was excellent news. My surgery, what happened was they opened up my back. I have an incision that looks like a zipper, essentially,
Yeah.
down my back, and they needed to fuse together my 4 of my vertebrae. So the thoracic, and I'm not too sure if I'm saying the word right, but essentially it's T 5, 6, 7, 8 is fused and supported with 2 metal bars. And coming out of that surgery, now it was a complete spinal cord break. So in the X-rays, the vertebrae was completely off alignment. So it was a complete break. Post-surgery, it's now aligned. And so now I'm paralyzed from my T5 down.
Yeah.
So I have no ability to move or control the muscles below that part. But I always tell people that I am so grateful that I came out of my surgery with the ability to use my arms,
Brain in your heart.
Yeah, and my
Arms,
brain and my heart.
I'll never forget it. That's the first thing you said to me after you asked me what the hell was I doing out of the house.
Yeah, right.
The first time.
So you have to look at the things that you have and be grateful for that.
I'll never forget it, Cal. I walked in there so scared, so no idea what I was walking into. I got the call from our buddy Pete, and no one really knew what had happened, and no one really understood the severity. All we knew was it was really bad, but nothing can compare you for what I walked in on. Like walking in and seeing you in a bed, neck brace on, not even able to turn to look at me, and still cracking jokes. The first thing you do is just, you melted all the ice. All the ice is broken. And that's when you said, I got my brain, I got my heart, and I got my arms. That's all I need. And it stuck with me. And just the whole not knowing, not knowing anything about anything. So anything could have happened. And you immediately just brought a calm to the whole situation. And then we were just sitting there and we were just talking. And it was, I'll never forget it, because it's one of those times. And I've been lucky enough to have a couple of these moments in my life where horrible, tragic things happen, but so much good comes out of it. And that was another one of those times that reminds you how precious life is and how you need to live your life the right way.
That's right.
And always be appreciative of what you have, because it could be gone in an instant. It was another one of those moments. And just to see you in that spot, like you looked like you were dead. You looked like you had passed away.
Well, I guess that's the other thing is, I could have died.
Yeah, like very easily. Trust me when I tell you, watching this at home, it's very true. Like you were a shell of a human, except for your brain, your heart, and your arms.
Yeah.
And even when you would say, GM, I'm in excruciating pain. Excruciating. Then we talked about the darkness of the whole thing, and I was so honored to sort of be on that little mini journey with you as we talked about, because as a fellow guy who's been to very dark places and had those issues, just to understand and watch it in your soul, like I could see it in your mind, in your brain, in your heart, that you had just been through something. And that thing was, am I going to be a burden to everybody? Does my family even want me? Like, what am I doing? Like, I don't think I deserve to be, like, all these horrible, dark thoughts.
Yeah.
And I was there for like the moment when it sort of went off, because you had talked and your girls and your wife told you how much they love you and how important you are. And it just fired you right back up.
Yeah. And, you know, in our next episode, we're going to really dive into
Oh boy.
into some of those hard topics.
Yeah.
And maybe the hardest week of my recovery, and that was waking up from my surgery, being in the intensive care unit in the hospital.
That's a cliffhanger, buddy.
It is.
That's a cliffhanger right there. Leave them wanting more.
Yeah. So let's close off
Perfect.
this episode. You know, thank you, Laura, for
Yes.
your continued support.
Amazing.
And
Angel.
for having this conversation with me and allowing others to listen to it as well. I really appreciate it. Gary, until next
Dude.
time.
Love you, buddy.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
job. You're the best.